Good morning. You are back live with the crew. Again, we're not live. Why do I keep... Anyway, let's not even go there one more time. Today, I just got off the phone with somebody who is a big, huge fan of stocks. And I get it. That's been tradition for well over 100 years. Wall Street's into it. I understand why they like the old business model. But let's use the word old once again. It's done for. I'm not saying stocks are bad. I'm not saying stocks aren't the future. I think stocks are going to be incorporated into the blockchain system, and I think they will all be tokenized at one point or another. This is coming. Everybody knows it. They just haven't gotten the memo yet. You and I figured that out a long time ago. One of the things that's really interesting to me is one of the most profitable, I just saw the report that came out on Apple, one of the great companies there is in the world, right? And they just came out with their report, and they are now more in debt than they are worth stock cash value. If you understand what that means that of the FANG stocks, they were the cash cow, okay? Then there's like Amazon, who's doing very well. But what a lot of us didn't understand and don't know is that they were government subsidized. All the FANG stocks were. They were given government beneficial through law, through money, through cheap loans, through being able to issue their own bonds. Think about what could happen to a company like Ripple or XRP if they were given those privileges. It would be ridiculous. It would change the entire Wall Street picture. I think they know that, they understand that. That's why there's no way my Goldman Sachs guy will get on this show and have a discussion with me live with you, because his company, his firm, their industry, Wall Street, is not prepared to have their tails handed to them yet. They are coming, as we know, institutional money is coming. It's a ridiculous wave that is on the brink of headed our direction. So why do I do this video so excitedly? Because crypto doesn't have debt. Even Ripple sells coins that they have already generated to pay for new company openings, door openings, government. The amount of government and work in which they're doing around the world, I covered in the last video, is absolutely astonishing. Every single week I hear something different from Brad and the rest of the crowd, which is just making more and more sense to me and more convincing. I think the latest was the one that really hit me hard was Japan. And when you look into what Japan's doing and the way they're doing it, and then through another avenue, another report was through Ireland. And when you look at what Ireland's doing and the abilities that they have to streamline their financials, remember, they have nothing to do with the UK. They are similar in some areas, but they have nothing to do with it. And they have a completely different banking structure and system. And what they're headed to makes way more sense than what the rest of the world is doing. They're somebody to really watch going forward, the way they adopt crypto, if you will. Okay, so crypto doesn't have any overhead, doesn't have any debt, doesn't have the debt burden that is burying these corporations right now, because debt's getting expensive. It's getting more costly, harder to raise funds, and it's getting harder and harder to sell their product at a profit, because you're competing further and further with other countries who are up and coming, and you're competing more and more with AI, and you're competing with blockchain accounting, which is virtually free. I mean, it's crazy that these brick and mortar companies can even compete at this level. Not for long. This is all coming to a head. It's coming very quickly. And there's people like, as we talk about, Citadel, BlackRock, Grayscale, and all the rest of these people, they've done the math. They have hundreds of bean counters sitting around figuring out where this thing's going. They're trying to get out ahead of it. As you and I know, we are ahead of it. And that's a beautiful place to be. So When I looked up the FANG stocks, and all of them are running a higher debt level today than they have in the last 5 years. It's most of them. It's been since 2017 they ran at a higher debt level, which is kind of crazy because that was kind of a good year, but they ran into some issues there. But that's a whole nother video. What I want to talk about now is when you and I own these products, you actually own the company. You don't own a share in the company of Ripple. You actually own the product Ripple makes. You actually own something that is forever software and the proprietary rights to it and all it generates and the percentage of amount of coins that you have. You earn that income on top of the fact that you own the product, which can be sold at a later date for more monetary value than it's currently worth today. So when you understand that, when you get that, you realize that the future is so bright for all of us that why would anybody sell your coin unless you need to, unless it's going to significantly change your life. I talk about that a lot. If you can sell 25% of your coins coming up in the future, whatever that number is to you, that could change your life, then why wouldn't you? Even if it takes 50 or 75% of your coins to change your life, why wouldn't you change your life? I'm just saying don't ever sell all of your coins. I don't think it's a good strategy. You can do whatever you want because I don't give financial strategy on this channel. So when we talk, well, let's go back about what we know about stocks. They're brick and mortar, most of it. They are coming to crypto. They are digitizing everything, as we know, through Filecoin and Hashgraph and the rest of these. They are all going to tokenize everything. NFTs are not dead. They are going to tokenize everything. That's where it's going. With AI, what does AI understand? Does AI understand brick? No. Does it understand a steel structure? No. It doesn't really even relate well to employees, really, does it? It just does what it's told. Well, what can tell it what to do better than software or blockchain technology? Nothing. That's why they're outgunned. They're outmanned. There's no way they're going to compete. I've been talking about this for 5-6 years with all of my friends, and then now it's happening. And it's happening almost daily. And the fundamental news is coming to us constantly, day after day after day. And it amazes me that there's still people that know me personally that just look at me and go, wow, I can't believe that crazy guy still owns crypto. That crazy guy. What's the matter with him? Yeah. All right. Well, I got to get going. I had to get that off my chest. It was such a great concept that we don't have debt. They have debt. I know I talk about this a lot on this channel, but one of the other things is, where are they going? Where is the new market? Is the new market, are people gonna buy Apple shares going forward? Yeah, sure. There's no question. Retirement funds are gonna own Apple, but anybody that's had a Huawei phone or any of these companies, they have a lot of competition. And the only reason why we don't sell those funds in this country, I know you've been told it's political reasons and they search you and they scam all through you. None of that is actually accurate. It's quite the opposite. Apple is a centralized system. Think about it, guys. Apple communicates with Apple. I'm not bagging on Apple. I think they're a brilliant company. I love the way they have ingenuity and the forward thinking of that company is brilliant. I love it. So don't get me wrong, I'm not bagging on Apple here. I am not comparing Apple stock to XRP coin. That's not what I'm doing. What I am doing is saying one doesn't have any debt overhead. The other one has a ton of debt overhead, and they've been one of the most profitable companies in a span of 20 years, and they're getting crushed. Sure, their financials are still good. If you want to look at a debt-laden corporation with the millions of employees, and how bright is their future? Well, they can create more cell phones, but are cell phones going to revolutionize the world? They kind of already had that wave now, didn't they? So where's the new wave? Where's the new wave, Apple? Well, I think you and I know where that new wave is. And they're coming on board. And it's so obvious, the institutional money. I have to talk about one more thing. This wave that we're going to come into, and I think it starts the end of this year, and it could even start as early as the end of this year, okay? The beginning of, by spring, it's going to be very obvious to me. And by fall of next year, we're going to be in a bull market, my opinion, very humble opinion. And it's going to last at least a year or two. And when that happens, and we see the bear side, downside on the other side of that, then you and I will discuss better strategies about getting out before then. But where I'm talking about now is I'm going to do a whole video series about this because I think it's really important. This is going to be the institutional money coming to crypto. That's what this next wave is. Institutions are selling to public. So institutions don't want to talk about it right now, and they're trying to keep the price down. Institutions will then sell it to the public when they can, which we know is coming very soon. I had a hot little tip, by the way, from somebody, and they think we're only a week or two away from an ETF coming to Bitcoin with BlackRock and Grayscale and some of the bigger ones. So the next wave, if you want to call it 27, 28, somewhere up in that range, that's a big conversation that I hope to have with you guys if you'll stick around and watch it. But that's going to be about government adoption. And that's going to be huge because then the big boys get to print as much money as they feel like printing to buy and escalate the price to anything they care to bring it to. All right, guys, hope you guys got something from that, and I will be back with you soon. So I heard a guy the other day, love his work, say that he listened to an author tell him that the halving doesn't make prices go up. It doesn't make the crypto market go up in value or in price. And I thought, who in their right mind believes that? I thought, do you know anything about trading? And then the following sentence out of his mouth said, actually, what makes the market go up and down was emotion. People's emotions and the psychology of man makes markets go up and down. Okay, so let's get this straight. Bitcoin gets a block reward every 10 minutes of 6.5 Bitcoin. I'm going to call that, for rough numbers, $200,000 in value. So after the halving, it gets cut in half, and it gets cut to $100,000. I don't know about you, but psychology tells me that if you're making 200 grand a year and you get your pay cut to 100 grand a year, there might be some emotion involved. That's right. You don't think that's a significant factor. That's interesting concept. Maybe you should read the book, Trading in the Zone. It's about the psychology of markets and man's trading ability through his understanding of the world around him. Brilliant book. Love y'all.